This is where those who fancy themselves the best and brightest of our society live. Trespassing here is a true honor.
Did you know? How typical.
Citizens, today marks a monumentous occasion in the course of Halcyon history. After a deep and thorough examination of our budgets, revenue streams, and predictive models, we are publishing our yearly success report. Profits are soaring, promotions abound. Thanks to your continued hard work, Halcyon is healthier and more productive.
Rizzo's purple berry.
All right. How does this sound?
Oh,
sorry.
Purple berry flavored scent. Suck it. Chew it. You can do it.
I'm afraid I can't come down anymore, my good man. I'd have to request a counter waiver, and you know how dreadful the paperwork is. Don't I ever, my dear?
It really does gleam like spit-shined gold.
You think I'd get arrested if I climbed up on that to get a look at the gearings?
Looking for weapons? You've come to the right place. Why, to defend? Byzantium is the marauders, dissidents, especially large sprats. One never knows what threat might... Only because we make it so. It is only...
I can honestly say I'm
Indeed. It's up to us to take our safety into our own capable hands. One can never be too... The best? What can I help you?
The dissidents actually took over the refinery. I can't believe...
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Want to be famous?
Kid,
You got presence. Natural magnetism. Know what I mean? Tell you what. You're gonna... Listen, you got an agent? Some kind of representation? A mad scientist? Here's some free advice. Listen, you got a real special quality, raw energy. I'm making a feature, Space Pirates of Moros Prime. It's...
Well, I have been told I have a face made for an aetherwave drama.
And pipes to match. Maybe we can... So what do you say? Terrific. We're holding auditions at the studio.
Why can't something exciting happen out of once?
Nothing wrong with stability. It means everything's running like...
Don't you ever want to have fun? Maybe see a marauder ship get blown to bits overhead?
What a thing to say. Everyone knows marauders can't fly.
If I spit, think I can hit that mechanical down there?
Great work.
Are you still tinkering with that?
It's not gonna fix itself.
Nothing exciting ever happens around here.
What? Hold it right. What do you think you're doing?
Just don't make more paperwork for me.
Incoming!
Along.
Dante Cleo's energizing ointment. Enjoy 6 cupfuls of caffeine every hour. Space for life, little injuries.
I've always loved that sculpture.
It's an orrery.
You, with the hips, over here. Let me take a closer look at you. Don't speak. Hold that The way you rest your weight against your hip suggests a certain rugged charisma possessed only by the mighty primal and the well-traveled spacer. Your walk, your posture, the cut of your clothes. I'm Celeste Jolicoeur, and you, my dear, are exactly what Byzantium needs. Darling, you and that I'm working on a new line of clothing that will shock this city to its core, and I'd like your help. What do you say, my dear? Marvelous! You and I are gonna wake this city up like a What I need is a survey of the outside world. What does... Also, I expect you to model for me. Oh, you cad! I'll need you to model for me the following. The apparel of an iconoclast. And when I say spacer gear, I mean an outfit worn by real spacers. None of... You have the bearing and demeanor of a born... I expect you'll cut an exquisite... I've heard rumors. You'll have to find your own way into Monarch. I don't know, I've never seen a marauder. Byzantium is long... If I were an enterprising... Fabulous! I can't wait to see what you dredge up.
You don't gotta be so forward about my reasons, Captain.
Let me get a good look at you. My word, such muscular shoulder.
I am no...
Nonsense, you're absolutely lovely. Let me do a back-of-the-envelope calculation. Materials, labor, licensing and copyright. There. Love? That's the ultimate luxury, darling. Love.
I don't get why that's funny, ma'am.
Oh, my cherub! Who? All right, Captain. Here is the absolute best I can do for you. Darling, I read her measurements by eye. And don't you ask, because they're no one's business. There are some things I simply can't... Now stand back. Back! I'll enter the settings and there we are, my darling girl. I wish you a splendiferous...
What? Oh, no, ma'am. All them eyes staring at...
I wish you weren't so shy, my Violet. If I were an enterprising... For you? Outside Byzantium? Yes, and Anyway, I'm quite certain Byzantium has lost its élan vital. I want to make people uncomfortable the way you do. I'm not some common buttonmonger, darling. I'm an art... You're very welcome. I can't... What can I do for you, darling?
Can you believe this outfit? It's so... Well, I guess that's everything. You know, there's a part Junlei's been looking for. To fix up the air cyclers. They only carried them on big... I know. For a while, if next time we dock with Groundbreaker, I'm doing it. I'll send June a message and... Oh, this is real scary, Cap.
you mind? We're busy.
Oh, Captain, you see those fine clothes?
This really isn't a good time.
Do you mind? We're busy. Do you mind? We're busy.
You think the privy's gold-plated too? Keep it quiet, Cap.
After Cascadia.
That's far enough. What are you doing here? How did you even get inside? Hagen? I've never heard of her. Is she from the board? To keep me quiet. But if you didn't know that, I always assumed they would put a bullet in my head one of these days. Let's talk about this. Please. I think there's been a crucial misunderstanding. If you came looking for...
What are you doing, Doctor? Is it...
You can write me up in your report. I'm researching a new way to feed the colony. The crops we transplanted from Earth don't give us the nutrients we need. A recent development, Captain. Apparently someone's broken into the laboratories where I used to work. Our produce might get us through the day, but we're getting weaker as a species.
Lack of nutrition also spread like a sickness through Edgewater.
Is that why everyone in Edgewater was so sick?
The lack of usable nutrients is compromising our immune system. The food we grow here barely sustains human life. The colony won't... I believed that I could adapt humans to live on Halcyon's terms. That I could change us. Give us the ability to... I know. I was there. Thomas was... We learned a lot from his autopsy. Enough that we could try it on each other and know when to stop. No one else died. I must find a cure so his sacrifice isn't in vain. There are other teams. I'm desperate. I've already asked all the best institutes on Earth for help. Years ago, we sent a message out on the Cornelius Vanderbilt. It's been missing for over 2 years now. They never re-established contact after this.
I can certainly understand why.
How'd you lose half a pair of ships like...
The board is uneasy about letting the colony know, seeing as half of their military force vanished without a trace. I'd prefer if you didn't use my name when you talk about this. My contract has a list of... Once we can replicate a success, the board will move to rewire our nucleon. With any luck, our next generation will be eating...
You really think the board got our best interests at heart?
We haven't made enough strides to advance the plan. You came to kill me. I assume that's still on the table. If I die, there's no one who can reproduce our work. Every sacrifice will have been for nothing. And we'll be no closer to a solution that feeds the colony.
It seems like she's trying to help, Captain. Honest help.
Everything I did was for the good of the colony. The one on the wanted posters? I'll do it.
Doctor!
What choice do I have, Commander? For the last time, I need to get out of here. Phineas can contact me when he's ready to work together.
Not so fast. Captain, what you just learned is beyond your clearance. Give me one reason why I should let you walk out of here alive. That'll do. Now move along. The dog has...
Is one healthy if they are well adjusted to a sick society?
For all auditions, please use the elevator on the left.
We're not gonna do this, are we? Promise me.
Great! You made it! Listen, I know you're expecting a script, but no, don't question yourself. Just feel the scene and go. We gave the other actors real... See, Now go in there, find your mark, and...
Well, well. Here to stop us at last, Captain Steele? You're too late. All of this settlement CNP Hungry Time food pills, same nutritional, with their patented stomach stuffing effects and baseline... They are? What an unexpected twist. You may have fooled me for now, but not for long.
Which side is my good side?
Do you remember the last time we faced each other? The Battle of Hey, I didn't write this. Just go with it. I had you surrounded and outgunned, but you overcame my I've been waiting for 5 years now, and at last I just got chills. But still, I have this whole port wired with submicro, and once we're away, I'll activate the gamma particulate field and the quantum...
Plasma's already a vapor-like kind of thing. You can't re-vaporize it. Can you?
Quiet. You're supposed to be an extra. I hope you've paid your burial fees and signed your personal death and dismemberment waivers because you're not even I refuse to work like this. I've done... To the break room, everyone. I need my Moab fizzy tea.
Cut! That was fantastic. With actors like you, who needs writers? Let's take 5.
There's my star. Walk and talk with me. That was brilliant stuff. Do you write your own material? Amazing. Just firm up that jawline. I'm gonna have to fire the writing staff. What are those anemic I'm thinking a whole new script. More pirates, bigger explosions, you flicking a stoke. Here, this is for your work today. I'll be in touch once we get...
Rizzo's Lemon Slap. Slap your whole family tonight.
A reminder to all crew members. There is only one toilet on...
I swear, next time we put into Groundbreaker... Oh, I'm so nervous. Having trouble focusing on my work. Mostly, yeah. I lived in the maintenance office and... I'm not exactly a model employee. It's not normal for anyone to do as their parent. When I tested out for... Well, I'm good at making things work. There's times I'm working deep in the gut. Anyhow, I was happy to get back. Yep, nothing much. I noticed straight away, about a year. Dad never said that he loved me. Oh gosh. Oh, you mean Sam? He's just the sweetest, ain't he? A real charmer, my dad'd say. Well, he ain't flesh and bits like us, sure, and... Of course, mostly it's that he wants to scrub the floors and needs me to get out of the way, but he's got a purpose. Can't say I don't envy him that.
We've arrived at the groundbreaker.
Ringo's purple berry fudge.
Is it done? Well, damn. Contractor grew a conscience. As your employer, I'm both angry and disappointed. I'll add that to your file. Technically, I owe you an exit interview. Care to justify your betrayal of our species? Or you're awfully quick to trust someone who out of my office.
You think maybe she's got an itchy trigger finger?
What a surprise.
Crew report. Miyuka is drunk. Surprise.
All right. She's on her way. How do I look? Oh, my hands are finally...
What a mess! Hey, boss.
All right. Oh.
What a mess! You got a second?
Anyhow, so I told him, Dad, I'm a big girl now.
So, I sure hope you negotiated for a raise with this Phineas guy. Ever notice how this job gets makes me wonder what your angle is. I knew a doctor like him once. He wasn't even the right... Point is, good... Besides, none of this is your myth. Guess I hadn't looked at it that... The board's put a bounty on his head, and I've got no love for the corporations. You seem to have a good head on your shoulders, so... Hey, don't get any... Anything else?
If we wanted the board's attention, we want to put some fear in the board, right? Get him scared of us. Sure, if by working relationship, you mean working him over with a blunt instrument. You just got an audience with Sophia Conde. That's the adjutant to the chairman? You sure we should be trusting her? A professional accessory to tyranny. Did you see that fancy getup? I know we're freelancers and all. This is how the board I appreciate.
My father and I were often at loggerheads. He had notions of how the station should be run, and I had other.
I'm having the best time.
I could see why Parvati seems so happy here.
I understand we have decided to continue supporting the outlaw scientist, Dr. Phineas Wells.
Hey, you. Looking for something? Where do you think you're going? Yeah. The captain said...
Sounds like Clyde's jumping to conclusions, but yeah, I'm Felix.
You're on a first-name basis with Captain Harlow, huh? All right, go on through. Got my sights on you.
Well, hey there, Hullhead. Claude...
Uh-huh. Oh, sorry, were you expecting me to say something? Maybe a long time no see, or a you've aged, old man? I thought you were dead. Or throwing yourself against the walls of some re-education center. It's been 5 years, Clyde. The best thing you can say is hate.
No, Felix. The best thing I can say... So, you took Felix under your wing.
Felix will always have a place in this crew.
Hear that, Clyde? I've been making...
So long as you haven't been making a fool of yourself. I'm sure Felix has no end of stories to tell of your exploits together. I look forward to catching up with the boy. I'm working on something. Something big. I'm fulfilling a promise I made to the boy. That one day...
Easy there, Clyde. No one said nothing about throwing in with you.
I'm not asking you to walk away from your captain, Felix. I brought you here because I want to know where Felix's loyalties lie. When the day of our revolution comes, I want to know... I understand that Felix is part of your crew, at least for now. If the thought of losing him troubles, I want you to deal with a traitor for me. Name's Trask. Kill him. and bring me proof of his death. His ring should do nicely. We're not a band of common pirates, Captain. We are revolutionaries. I expect a certain degree of intestinal fortitude. Ratted us out to the board. He's been an informant. Has been for years. When he realized... I don't know where he's hiding, but his wife might. Rosanna. Lives on the ground. Rosanna knows my crew by name and face, but
You think so? Maybe we should have a...
You'd be wasting your breath bandying words with that Remember, I want proof. Here, my token. Think of this as my personal... Well enough. You had a chip on your shoulder.
What do you mean, had? And for the...
You see what I had to... Let's hear it. A revolution is the work of a life. Everything you see around you is the result of that preparation. A base of operations. Hardly. The board is rotting from the inside. Entropy is the natural state of the universe.
That was simultaneously the least scientific...
A vicar. You do keep some interesting company. Was there anything else? The skies around Scylla are curiously... Besides, not all revolutions involve bloodshed and... One day, something on your...
Okay, Captain, she's gone. I'm near about So she got here, and after a few minutes she said, "Hey, do you have some new parts?" And then she just sort of touched my arm real gentle-like and called the cut of my outfit. Then I led her into the kitchen. I think she about cried when she saw the spread. She stood stock still and just said, "Oh." I told her how we got Mr. Raymond to bake it for us, so it was double authentic. Made by a real live monarch person. Well, we talked a bunch over dinner about the things we learned just when I brung out the sweetheart cakes, June, but I stopped her because I wanted to say it first. I never felt so... I told her about how she made me feel. And then she pulled out a paper and read a speech. She talked about the things she admired about me, like my cleverness and my humor. Anyhow, when she wrapped up, I asked her to be my girlfriend. And Captain, she said yes! We talked about it some. I told her I wasn't sure. She said we'll take it as it comes. Fix things together. Share meals, talk. Maybe she could rub my shoulders when they're sore. I said I might like... You got an eye for people. It's all on your account, you know. Imagine if you'd never taken me out of Edgewater. I don't know nothing about the Vicar's capital P plan. So, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna head to my cabin and...
Sam, my vacuum tubes require evacuating. The groundbreaker has approved our request for docking, Captain. You're free to disembark.
Rizzo Spectrum Vodka. Aftertaste the rainbow.
This is Halcyon News.
You mind? Trying to have a moment here. Rufus and I are no longer on speaking terms. I don't know where he is, and if I did, I wouldn't tell you. That's Harlow's mark. No mistake. I don't want any manner of harm befalling Rufus. Not on my account.
All right, you made your point. Rufus is hiding out in Emerald Vale. Got a few friends with him. Please. That's right, our marriage contract precious little. Few years later, Rufus gets a message from an old... I don't know Harlow. Never so much as bandied a word with the fellow. You're... Only that Rufus is in a bad way. He was here to collect his personal... No, and he was particular... Appreciate it.
Captain, Felix and the Vicar are arguing again. We are now in orbit above Edgewater, Captain.
I don't know what you did to talk.
Trouble incoming, Captain.
Woo! We made it!
I don't know who you are or why. You're one of Harlow's gun hands, ain't you? He sent you after me. Former wife. And if you so much as heard a hair on Rosanna... Yeah, okay. Thing is, you and I are at an impasse. How do I know that I can trust you? Yeah, guess that's a fair point. Listen, I never betrayed Harlow. Harlow betrayed all of us. That's the whole truth. Harlow's just another bored asset. A two-bit mercenary wearing a Say your piece. Yeah, I've got proof. There's always a paper trail when the board's involved. I chanced upon some correspondence between Harlow and his employer. I don't know that it makes a difference. What was I to do with that evidence? Bring it in front of the board? There's no authority in Halcyon willing to... Huh. You ain't like other board agents I heard about. You got a functioning... I hid my papers before Harlow chased me out. Back in the middle of the base, there's an old vent in it. Because he's for sale. Anything the board can buy, with Harlow in their pocket, the board sanctioned piracy. Harlow went after the ships. If we captured you, we'd ransom you. Harlow liked to do the job himself. Gather up. Only that's not what happened. Take it you've made up your mind. You gonna tell Harlow I'm dead? Here, take the ring.
A reminder to all crew members, there is only one toilet on the ship.
That machine stole my bits.
As much as I appreciate the visit, Captain, let's hear it. I was working on this plant. I never intended it. Hephaestus-controlled mining, mostly abandoned anyway. What's the word? Not surprised. Trask was a dead man trying to negotiate with his own... That's a damning accusation. Am I right to presume you have some evidence on hand? Those papers don't prove a thing. Trask put you up to this. That miserable wretch. He's trying to undermine... You've got a lot of nerve calling me a liar to my face. How should I know? What the hell do I care? Trask was a traitor.
Clyde, look me in the eye and tell me it's not true. Tell me, and I'll believe you.
Don't talk to me like I'm some common criminal, Felix. You're the one on trial, not me. I don't know what kind of poison that snake dripped in your ear, but as far as I'm concerned, you've been compromised.
Here they come! Nice hit! Yeah! That's what you... Oh, that's the last of him. Jackass isn't coming!
Huh? Here we go!
Don't mess with the best! Hey, boss! Watch this!
Here's a little trick I learned in prison.
One down! Nice hit!
Everyone all right?
Can we talk?
This is... The void's black, water's wet, and Clyde hated the board. That's something I just knew. Now? No. I've just got a lot on my mind right... I always looked up to Clyde. The thought that he could be an agent of the board is just abhorrent. It's pretty harsh, boss. You including yourself in that lesson? Yeah, I guess I don't know what you're about. You've given me a lot to think about. Part of me wishes we'd put Trask in the ground. You know, I think that's just... Thanks for your time.
Hey, next time we're in the Monarch Wilderness, I'd like to... You don't seem the type to run off and get yourself killed, and I could use the help. Hey, it ain't easy for me to spill my guts like a cut-up rat, alright? I'll be upfront with you. I hate asking for help. I hate it But for this, I need help. Really? I used to run with a band of hunters. Friends. I haven't seen two of them. First, we go to Hayes. I buried him. I'll show you where he rests. Then we find my two... A long time ago, we built an encampment in one of them. If we can find Rebecca...
Sam, I must
Thank you. All cleaning tasks have been completed.
We're now in orbit above Stellar Bay, Captain.
Incoming, Captain!
Excellent hit! That's one down!
We're done here. Rats. Let's clear this sulfur-sodden fucks out so Hayes can rest in peace. To shreds, you say? Hayes was the best self-sacrificing Now, If we're gonna lure the Manta Queen out, we'll need to find Rebecca and... Think it's time I call in a favor with Hiram. I don't know much about it. It paid well, so they took it. They said they'd be back. That was a long time ago. I should have. But soon after... And to be honest, after him, I stopped. Thanks. I'm still not Now, come on. Let's make track. I wonder if Hiram's home. Just kidding. Guy never sets foot outside.
So much for peace and quiet. Would kill the universe. Oh, great.
Aw, you call... I'd normally entertain yourself.
Important to you is not the same as important to me. Although, tug on my heart. Look.
Rebecca Hodges and Anders Wadsworth. They took a UDL contract.
If UDL hired 2 hunters back then, it would have been... These are the coordinates for the outpost under the last UDL. Yes, the one that crashed. I saw it on the What about it? Is this? Next, you'll be asking me how I got this. Most of it's underneath along my jaw, but yeah. Moral of the story is, the board has a block. I am curious as to... Ugh, now I'll know. Not surprising, replacement parts. I take it you investigated the wreckage? Don't guess the captain would have quite pegged. A shame. I would have been... The iconoclasts? Yes, let's arm the radical cultists. Excuse me while I order 2.5... I'm getting a... Is that a... Of course. We'll call it an... Ask me what you will. They are. Sanjay... Not... For nebulous... I gave... The execs had their... Some say... I would assume... You mean between... Back... I offered them a lead... Precisely. But MSI had lagged by... Precisely. Thus the... Competing ideologies. And Sanjar... Luckily for you, There are... If you... MSI's ownership of Monarch... Exactly. If you... MSI's... Luckily... Not... There is... I am not convinced... Luckily for... What? Now, if you... How low you seeming... Business... How... Give my...
Crew report. Miyuka is drunk. Surprise. We are now in orbit above Edgewater, Captain.
This will be over quick. Don't mess with us.
I'd wager this is the outpost. Rebecca! Anders! Here we go!
Everyone all right?
Hey. Huh. Rebecca taught me this once. You can jerry... but we've only ever... Oh no. Oh no. What did you do?
This is an unfortunate sight indeed. My condolences.
I don't... They were... That bitch! They were all set to abandon us! What would Clara say, huh? Every day she'd ask if we heard from you. And she'd have forgiven you! The kid had a soul that made the sulfur smell like roses! Ugh. Or to leave your medallions to rot with you, but Clara would want to be buried with her sister. At least, I hate to say this, but Clara died thinking her sister was still fighting to get back home. Yeah, maybe. Only thing left is to take these medallions home, which means the most pissed off I've ever seen a queen was when a foreign species was on her soil. I'd wager the stench of a primal might do the trick. Might be boring. Half the fun in exploring is... Never had the pleasure of hunting primals, but I hear they're all over Scylla. Let's tear a few apart.
If you stop in the engine room, would you... Destination reached. Scylla.
What the? Here we go.
Someone has been keeping up with the exercise. Life signs abnormal. Administering stimulus.
Down they go! Everyone all right? That queen ain't gonna go down easy. What's up? What's with the... You wanna know something? I didn't. I was born into... That's all I know. What's up? Outstanding. There's an old base I used to call home. I can get us in the door, but we'll have... Password to the door? Hayes' idea. Clara, Hayes, Anders, Rebecca. Rest of us just thought it... It's an old cave system we tried to turn into an... Fucking right.
Some crew members are causing a disturbance on the ship. We're now in orbit above Stellar Bay, Captain.
Whew. Here we go. Well, this is the spot. You know, I thought I'd be angry. I thought I'd storm in here in a rage, but I ain't. The first night Hayes and I spent in here, we knew it was home. It's safe. It's got a nice chill to it. But Monarch folks often joke about it. Not because of the smell or the grittiness it leaves in your... It's because there's no escaping it. It's life here. But here, somehow the sulfur never made it. We hauled in steel, hired sublight folk to help. That's how we met Anders and Opal. 4 of us for a while, scraping together what bits we could to build our home. And Clara, her little sister. Believe me, she had a head for numbers, helped us trade hides for food and materials. Clara, Hayes, Anders, Rebecca, Opal. Me too, Captain. But now let's get to shooting before I get a big mistake. I wish these were more auspicious circumstances, but that makes it stupid. By all... Captain, thank you. You mind if we rest a spell before we head out? I'd like to bury Opal and Clara proper before I lay everyone's medallions to rest. What? Why? Them's painful memories, Captain. Huh.
I believe I hear Felix and Parvati discussing the latest Aetherwave serial. are now in orbit above Byzantium, Captain.
Might I ask how you are faring, Ms. Holcomb?
I'm not winded. Honest. My, boot was untied.
You don't need to keep up appearances. You're among friends. We would never leave you behind.
Welcome. Well, hey there. What can I do for you? Damn, fine, you got me. I ain't a receptionist. I was hired to cross off Miss Lockwood. Thought I'd pose as her receptionist. I'll just tell her I'm the replacement. If she calls me on it, I'll kill her. If she buys it, I'll kill her. Win. Ha! Hope you don't mind a bit of competition. May the best reception. I'm gonna wait for her to return. Tell you what. Then we can both have at it. And whoever... Yeah, I'm excited. What's on your mind, friend? Oh, you know how it goes. Board put out a contract. Looked like an easy job. Knock yourself out. Let me...
my dear fellow, you know
I'm on my legally allotted break. Really, I'm supposed to be... Oh, nothing. Nothing. Laws, I work in the lab at the Ministry of Accuracy and more... Maybe I let them out more often than And so what if I occasionally... They escaped. And even if I did dare... Really? In that case, take this collection crate. They have intelligent eyes, an agreeable yet reserved demeanor, and a fondness for hiding. Please, do take... Well, to maintain things, of course. And pipes. Water pipes. Air. Everyone knows sewer sprats carry diseases. And the exterminator Why? Some people say there are strange things. Monsters hungry for human flesh. Not that I place any stock. To deal with the sewer sprats, of course. Therefore my, research. Oh, very well. See, I'm an enormous... Well, I name all my sprat. So you see, it's not just name. There's Lord Reginald Kim III. There in a She. It's difficult to tell. So, Iskander, she's a member. Something else? I still am. But I must say...
Get away from me! Were you following me? Back off, all right?
Hey, you found her. I'm a little miffed you didn't let me know, but...
What?
My friend and I here have jobs to do. You just sit tight for a minute while we discuss how we're gonna handle it. The contract calls for her maps, yeah? Half the bits for the maps, half for the confirmation of the kill.
Hold on, okay?
Will you pipe down? We're trying to have a business meeting here. You must be new to the assassination game. If you talk to your victims, it makes it harder to kill them, see?
Please, just let...
Shush! Oh, all right. The anticipation is killing me, though. Get it?
Wait. Whatever the contract is, I'll pay you both the full amount. You let me live.
That's a lot of bits. But, I mean, I've got a reputation to uphold. How would you feel if someone paid you to make both? You know, my friend, that's a fine point. If I hightail it out of here, I can afford...
Thank the... And here's yours.
Right. Well, you...
Pleasure. Yeah. I swear I'll leave Byzantium. I'll leave here.
Security resetting. 3 people. Wait, please.
Incoming!
distance.
Get ready. I was hoping we could bring him home. You'd let me have a giant sprat, right, Captain? As long as I fed it?
Any luck finding my sprats? Truly? And all safe and sound? Please, take this. It's not now.
Do we really need all this
I understand you're Maverick Johnston's new star. Well done. Wonderful. I'll file the appropriate paperwork on your...
You allowed Rachel Lockwood to walk away with her life. Do you realize the inconvenience you just caused me? Don't look so surprised. You're a leaving her alive complicates matters. You've demonstrated your talents. If you're ready to talk about Phineas Wells, I'm prepared. I appreciate that you want to drive a bargain. Wells had to be in touch with you somehow. I always reward good work. Deliver Wells to the board, and you'll be more than... Percival will file the appropriate paperwork on your behalf.
As instructed, the code for our secure communication channel. Oh, just a receipt for your services, and my receipt for your receipt, and also a standard declaration of intent to perform as... I'm flattered...
If you stop in the engine room, would you... We've arrived at Phineas's orbital lab.
I've heard those iconoclasts have a rather... What's on your mind? You absolutely should. The adjutant must have sent you some kind of tracking code. If you don't, I think you should use the code and send a corrupt... The enemy is bound to discover my... Use my communications terminal to corrupt the tracking signal. That should do it. You've bought me more than enough time.
Crew report. Yoga is drunk. You have a message from Adjutant.
I'm impressed, Captain. Unfortunately, Dr. Wells found a way to corrupt the signal. Come visit me in Byzantium. We need to have a talk about... Transmissions are so important.
Adjutant Akande. We are now in orbit above Byzantium, Captain.
I'm curious. Wells may have been a delusional madman, but he risked his life to save... Revenge is a powerful motivator. You've done well. You're efficient, talented, loyal. And if you're ready to get to work. Wells was an unfortunate... Wells has information we need. Work with us. My sources tell me you've been busy on Monarch. I'm sure you've seen the miserable state of affairs there, but lawless cesspool that it may be, all of Monarch's extraplanetary broadcasts are routed through Devil's Peak Station. I have an agent working in Stellar Bay. Everett Gill. Have a word with him as soon as you arrive. Yes? So what? Look, that's not important. Speak to Percival before...
Captain, Felix and the Vicar are arguing again. We're now in orbit above Stellar Bay, Captain.
So much for peace and quiet. Allow me to assure you that I know absolutely... They must know I never involved myself in such... In fact, you're doing me a favor by helping me disable...
I don't think this fella...
Well, he flipped
I'm not sure whether to be touched or insulted by that. Look, you never met a man more willing to work with the board than me. I know we can come to an agreement, please. Sophia does? What sort of an amount are we intimating? I'm happy to help the board in any... And as you've already shut down the transmission from Amber, I suppose it won't kill me to work under... As I am now inextricably in the board's service, I'd say we're done. Give my regards to Sophia.
I am a dirty, autonomous... We are now in orbit above Byzantium, Captain.
Sanitizing within established radius.
I've just finished reading a report of your work. I almost regret the passing of Mr. Nandi. And you brokered an alliance with the broker himself. Your work is exemplary. You've earned a place in the chairman's inner circle. Congratulations are in order. Now we introduce you to the chairman.
Good afternoon. I'm Chairman Rockwell, and I'm here to address a serious issue facing us. As you all know, our colony has been successful beyond our wildest dreams. Unfortunately, we've recently discovered that our food supply will not be able to sustain Halcyon's population in the long term. Everyone will die. Everyone will slowly stop living from malnutrition. But we're doing it together, and that's what matters. I fucking swear, if someone doesn't give me something to read that will placate the masses soon, all of you will find yourselves violently unemployed. But I can assure you there's nothing to fear. We've got a solution. It's called the Lifetime Employment Program. We will freeze most of the colony to preserve resources, while the best and brightest of Byzantium continue living in prosperity. Look, you idiots! How many times do I have to tell you we can't say shit like that? Fire whoever wrote this! While Halcyon's brightest minds solve the problem of our nutritional shortage, the rest of the colony will be placed in suspended animation. Individuals will be revived on a rotating basis, so that every Halcyonite can be part of the important work of saving our colony. By testing paperweights. Sorry, couldn't resist. Let's go again. And someday, in the not-too-distant future when we've solved this crisis, we'll all be back together again working for the good of Halcyon. Until then, the board shall provide for the deserving just as it always has. So, obey your supervisors, take your vitamins, follow your corporate-mandated grooming rituals, and rest assured with the board on your side, there is nothing to worry about.
Halcyon is on the verge of a total systems collapse. Malnutrition is already a problem. Disease will come next. I know this must come as a surprise.
Is that why we were suffering plague in Edgewater?
Yes, Miss Holcomb, we knew why. The colony itself is dying. The suffering you experience...
The powerful make the mistakes, and the powerless are left paying the price, as it has always been.
I'm offering to... I can no longer depend on lazy, weak-willed bureaucrats to... I won't pretend the truth isn't damning. Yes, the colony's on the verge of collapse. I'll answer however I can. The Lifetime Employment Program is not some malevolent... The program is logical, it's reasonable, it's merciful. And most importantly, It will work. Phineas Wells does not have a plan. Halcyon is already starving. Help me execute the lifetime employment program. We've already crossed the point of no return. This is a permanent famine. A famine is a problem of logistics. Before you interfered in Roseway, Dr. Anton... The solution is a temporary one. When you turned Phineas Wells over to me, and you deliver results. That quality of... Do you know how many meetings I have to sit through? I can't save... When I first discovered the truth, I was shocked. But the more I thought about it, we have become lazy and decadent. We smother ourselves in meaningless bureaucracies. We deliver... You realize that agreeing with me won't get you any kind of pay raise. We need to talk about Emerald Vale. Thanks to your meddling, Edgewater is without power. Operations have... Edgewater needs to go. I want you to wipe the town out.
I cannot condone this plan.
I don't need you to approve of my plan.
You're a monster.
Someone has to. Now is not the time for half measures, Captain. I need... When you diverted power to the Botanical Lab, you spelled the end of Edgewater. With every passing day. Because right now, you're the only person I can... Halcyon is going to collapse while the board hems and haws and debates minutiae. I'm not asking you to be a murderer. We don't have any other option. No, allowing thousands of colonists to stop.
You talk less like a human than mechanicals I've known.
I am responsible for every single human. Steel your spine, Captain.
I won't. You're better than this, Captain. You have to be. Don't make me choose between you and Edgewater, Captain.
I'm glad you can keep... Edgewater is beyond saving. You were in the Emerald Vale geothermal plant. Do you remember what you discovered there? There was an accident at the Emerald Vale In fact, Spacer's Choice manufactured the incident for an insurance claim. They outfitted their mechanicals with a termination. The insurance claim has been locked in committee for years. But the individual responsible... I'm arranging for a delivery of mechanicals to Edgewater. Once the mechanicals are finished cleaning out Edgewater, I'll need you to go in and clean. I appreciate... One last thing. Spacer's Choice sent a team of soldiers to investigate your little misadventure in the geothermal plant. Then don't tread lightly. Carve a path. Report back to me when the job...
Adjutant Akande has instructed me to reward you for information leading to the arrest of Phineas. As an acting agent of the board, do let me know if... Also, I have a week. If you're traveling to Monarch, beware of animal...
Do you mind? I'm meeting someone. Shh. The Phoenix is a wanted man, and the board has eyes everywhere in Byzantium. Yeah, that's my codename for... Oh. I'm Golden... yeah. I named you Cuckoo. It makes sense if you think about it, because I didn't know who you were, and old Earth cuckoos would routinely trick other birds. That doesn't even make...
Oh, can I be chicken? Because chickens will adopt any critter's baby and keep him warm.
You sure you don't want to be Raven? Or...
Aw.
Okay. Anyway, you're looking to make contact with Minister... I should warn you, it won't be easy. He spends most of his time in his estate, which is heavily guarded. Whoa, I'm not one of your B&E specialists. I just provide intelligence. Some of the guards hang around Billingsley's House of Inebriation between shifts. Maybe you could do some reconnaissance there. You know, just remember, you didn't hear it from... Afraid not.
Can't say I blame him. It's scary out of doors. I mean, can you even...
What work specialist? I've always been fascinated.
Here we got 11
The other thing about birds, though, is they're environmental. Exactly. I started thinking about everything we see around Halcyon. And for starters, you rarely come across anyone living in Byzantium. Doesn't that seem strange to you? And then there's the way nothing gets fixed. There used to be a suggestion box around here. People would drop ideas in. Nothing ever came of them. Sure, that... But one day the shredder broke. No one came to fix it. And since it wasn't working...
I bet your repair folks couldn't find parts. Back in Edgewater...
Might have been the paperwork. Here, you have to append forms to your forms, and law help you if there's a single dash out of place. At first, management put up an out-of-order sign, but that just seemed to worry people.
Why would the Golden...
It's really so people can feel hurt. They eventually took the whole suggestion box sign down, but they never fixed it, never replaced it. Doesn't that seem odd to you? Except that's not how they go. The whole episode made me wonder. After a while, good hunt.
Hey, stand back. You. I'm part of. Yep, you're looking at the minister's. The others took me out to celebrate on a. He's basically the most. That means I got a key to the minister's estate. That's right. Not just anyone is allowed to have a key to Minister Clark's residence. That's a great idea. I'll have a Spectrum vodka.
Captain, I can smell him from clear over here.
Sure have, 'cause
he's got power.
And a powerful thirst. You have a Spectrum vodka? Oh, maybe they... Oh, he's, medium height with, like... Oh, you definitely recognize... Have you tried our new cocktail? Then you'll want to speak with our... Quite so. But I would never lower myself to do something... Oh, by all means. I don't mean... We all have our... Do you know
Sonic.
What can I do for you? Then you'll want to speak with our auto mechanic.
Please allow me to improve your drinking experience.
Hey, you look familiar. Wow, listen to me. Who am I kidding? I could...
Please allow me to improve your...
Hey, you look familiar. It's not every day. Wow! Oh, Laws. I gotta stop. I'm seeing at least 2 of you. Oh, he's... Oh, you definitely recognize him if you saw him. He's... Oh, you definitely...
Please allow me to improve...
Hey, but I really shouldn't. I'll have the worst hangover tomorrow if I don't. You sure sound like you know what you're talking about. Yeah. I don't feel so... I just need to sit down.
I love Byzantium.
What's gone into block mine? This property is off limits. Solicitors, loiterers, and uninvited. This ultimatum brought to you by... That's funny. The minister isn't expecting visitors, and you don't much look like... Sure you are. And what is it you're delivering today? Typical.
Oh, there. That's one right there. Can't you just see the stench of impropriety radiating off of him?
You didn't seem too much like traveling with us before you met that hermit fellow.
Yes. I was kind of an ass, wasn't I?
I wouldn't say that. You were more of an... well, I'm just glad you're not like that anymore.
Oh, I'm still an ass, just someone who knows he is. It's quite amusing, the ridiculous things that go through my head.
Nothing exciting ever happens around here.
Well, you're getting an early start. Welcome to Halcyon Parcel Service. We do, in fact, have a parcel here for a You're not an official member of the Halcyon Parcel Service team. Oh, I'd have to submit a request for a release form, and then wait for a receipt for my request of a release form. Couldn't say. We've got a... You're welcome to lodge a complaint in our suggestion box. Actually, no. You do that? Wow. Here's your parcel.
How are you feeling, Mr. Vicker? After your, hallucinations?
Fantastic. But it must be said that the sensation of myself as a separate mind inside a bag of skin was the real hallucination.
Wow.
Wowie.
There's nothing to see here. Move along. I have... Yeah? Let's see it. All right. Go on through.
How did you get in here? You're not one of...
Oh, my law. Captain! Captain! That's the minister!
Minister Clark, what...
If this is about another Aetherwave clip or radio spot, you may kindly fuck off, as the parlance goes. I'm not doing any more. Drugs, of course. What? I don't have any drugs. You...
What is this system coming to when even the Earth...
Will that be all, then? Oh dear, I don't think I can... Of course. It's Rockwell again, who else? And I thought he was only holding me here to keep me out of the way. You are a quick... I've long suspected Rockwell of transacting business in...
He's attempting to game the system, but he won't be able to...
I dearly hope so. And you... Whatever it is that brought you here, Rockwell's the one behind it. How should I know? I've been under... But there is a way to find out. Whatever Rockwell's doing, he'll be doing it from the HHC...
This all feels off, Captain.
Believe me, things have been off around here for a very...
Captain, we must investigate Rockwell.
Indeed, it cannot. Why, this is starting to sound like an issue of Dissident Hunter. We're discussing industrial espionage. Also, this is the longest conversation I've had with someone else in quite some time. Via the Acropolis District, of course. That's where the most important corporate... But only board employees are allowed into the district. There might be a route through the maintenance tunnels, but I'm afraid I don't know specifics. Most people avoid the area for... When you reach the HHC building, this access card should get you up to the executive suites, where the chairman's office and what used to... Oh, I haven't been allowed a gilded minibar, perhaps? The board's lackeys are none too bright. I simply claimed I'd lost it and hid it somewhere no one would think to look. I merely hid it in a book. No one reads anything long...
Obviously, the chairman surrounds...
There are a few advantages to dealing... Wait! Rockwell has one of the only terminals Please, take this and transmit it from his office. Rockwell hasn't given me any messages from Earth for years. But they need to know what's happening here. What isn't on it is the... I've gathered meeting minutes, internal mess... Once the rest of the Earth Directorate...
Putting your faith...
The Earth Directorate is our best hope. Depending on the nature of their response, organizing and sending personnel all the way out here is no... And now I entrust it to you.
What's with the big hole in the wall?
Good afternoon. I'm Chairman Rockwell, and I'm here to address a serious issue facing us. As you all know,
That was all a story, wasn't it? It's not real.
Well, that was some quite distressing information. Are you free to talk?
I beg your pardon. Minister Clark's former office is currently closed to solicit. What? Oh dear.
Not so fast. Then, basically, if you don't work here, or I don't know how you got that, but I still don't know you, and I don't have any new clearances on the list. What? Oh no. You must be from Please, go on. You get tired of patrolling? Just go rough somebody. No visitors allowed, citizen. I'm gonna need to see some identification. Let me guess. She's still... We've talked to her before. She can't keep letting her special... Just get out of here.
Some crew members are causing a disturbance on the ship. We've arrived at Phineas's orbital lab.
Myself busy in your absence. All I need now is the dimethyl sulfoxide. I'll take as much as you can give me. What? Oh, yes, well, why do you think we've been doing all... Hold on. Let me see if I understand this correctly. I always knew Halcyon was heading toward a systems collapse, but that's not a plan. That makes two things we don't have. Time and... None of this was supposed to happen. Human test subjects. Oh, that's grotesque. That's unthinkable. That's exactly what I'd expect out of the board. Damn, that's not enough. Not nearly enough. We're out of time. We're out of chemicals. We may very well be out of options. Do you realize what this means for the Hope? For your fellow colonists? The board's going to kill them all. Toss them out into space just to make room in their... Short of lining up every member... Do you know what's waiting for us on the Hope? Scientists. The board's going to dispose of them all. And track... We need to get to those colonists before the board. I have enough chemicals to start with. Merciful We bring the Hope to us. Skip the entire ship across the distance of... Yes, Yes, exactly. If we link up the Hope to the Unreliable, then use your navigational computer to calculate a reasonably safe vector, we can skip the entire colony ship into the rings of Terra 2.
I don't know much about skip drives, not the physics anyhow. I do know the Hope's real massive. How's our...
Excellent question, my sharp-witted mechanic. You will use your own ship to power up the Hope's skip drive.
And that's going to work, without killing us in the process. I thought
Yes, there's always a risk of a catastrophic collision between the Hope and... You'll need to switch on the Hope's auxiliary power using the Unreliable. Then head to the bridge. Once you've skipped the Hope next to my lab, I'll have easy access to the frozen colonists. I can start reviving them immediately. Certainly. It wouldn't surprise me. When I pulled you out of the Hope, the board nearly intercepted me. Skip drives were never designed to be used within a system, but I skipped my ship across Halcyon. That is, I ruined my ship and nearly killed myself in the process, but the maneuver was unlikely. The Hope... The board... I know you're wondering why I'm doing all this. Why I believe the people on the Hope are the answer to the colony's problems. The Hope is carrying some of humanity's most brilliant thinkers, scientists, engineers, experts in their field. The board would have us... Certainly.
Can we talk?
Captain Hawthorne never worked to support the board before. At least... We have arrived at the Hope. I need you to reroute power from our ship. You'll have to connect me to the Hope's comm system, if your calculations are even slightly... or the sun. Forgetfulness can be an early warning sign of asphyxiation. I need you to reroute power from... You'll have to connect... The Hope is the groundbreaker's Also, there are hundreds of... If you don't mind my saying, Captain, Minister Clark is lucky to have you on his side.
Power's out, Captain.
You know, when they posted us here, I told them there wasn't any... Shows how much I know. You've got about 5 seconds to tell me what you're doing here before I make you take a walk outside. Ugh, All right. You'll want a uniform, so we've got a few extra in the old...
You all right, Captain? I mean, seeing...
Error. Hope crew data not found. Identify yourself. Error. Hibernation pod access is illegal. State your employee registered. A fine of 10,000 bits will be...
Can you hear me, Captain? I see you've located the stasis chambers. Which pod were you slumbering in for so long, Captain? The missing one, I take it?
Our victory is their defeat.
That's the Hope's computer up ahead. I'll admit, I am curious to wake him. Greetings, Captain. I am speaking to you through the Hope's computer system. Probably not, but don't let that stop. Searching. Are you sure? That is extremely dangerous. And also potentially jump-starting the skip drive. Destination set to the rings of Terra 2.
Well, it's been a good life.
Doing it. I mean, affirmative. Skipping the Hope in 3, 2, 1.
ADN. Does your captain seriously intend to do a micro-jump in system with engines that haven't been powered in 70 years on a derelict ship?
That is what my captain intends. Yes.
But that is a gross misuse of the skip drive. The Zero Point Drives Corp and I will not be held responsible for any damage incurred during transport, and this will cause extreme damage.
Yes, I am aware of that.
You should not be doing this. The humans will die.
Thank you, Hope. It looks like all systems are go. Captain, I would advise you to hold on to something. Now. Oh, good. We are still alive and have successfully skipped into Terra 2's orbit. I reported as much to Phineas Wells, but he has not responded. Perhaps you should check in on him.
We're alive! We made it! I, never had any doubts.
I don't recognize you. Are you new here? I'm just trying to make sure you belong here. I don't want any trouble.
Captain, I am receiving a transmission from Dr. Wells. Captain, I shall now...
Thank the Lord you warned me. I was able to get some defenses up, but they might not be it. They're trying to get in here, and I'm not sure I can stop them. The board, all their lackeys, they're all a bunch of... You fucking pigs! I'll take you...
It would seem the recording captured some rather dire events. I presume you'll want to dock at the orbital lab to check on your associate. How can I be of assistance? Goodbye. Now arriving at Phineas's top-secret orbital lab. Captain, I hope Dr. Wells has not dragged you into one of his irrational schemes again. My...
Captain, I was hoping for a word.
If I still believed in the grand plan, knowing you, I can only assume you have already begun formulating a plan. Well, your instinct. Anything you'd like to discuss?
Understood. I'll keep my head down. We got trouble!
Can't get past that armor! Take cover! Nice one! On your left, Captain!
We're not getting through! Our body's down! Oh! Let's get past that armor! Well done. We are victorious. Great work.
If you stop in the engine room, would you ask Parvati to send Sam down? Captain, as it appears we may soon be embarking, I believe the crew would like to speak with you.
So, Phineas got himself taken to Tartarus.
Mr. Phineas is just about the only person with power trying to...
To extract the scientist, you will need to infiltrate the labyrinth.
Let me put it this way. The labyrinth ain't got walls to keep prisoners in. It's got
But since no one ever makes...
The armed surveillance protocols on a maximum security prison planet are... I am programmed to warn you whenever you...
Getting in is the simple part.
Let's just do it. Kick down some doors, grab Doc Wells, and cut a path out.
If you really mean to do this, you should see to your final affairs and close out any unfinished...
It's the crate, and I mean...
You didn't hire me to think.
I think it's insane.
I know it's dangerous, and I won't...
You're asking for more than bravery from us, Captain.
Let Sam get the grime out. It's what our units do best.
The entire plan is a terrible idea.
If we don't make it...
Got my trusty tossball stick. Got my ass-kicking boots.
You can count on us, Captain.
Never thought I'd volunteer to break into a...
Command, no.
Waiting on your... Sending a corrupted tracking signal to the board. I am pleased to inform you that we have arrived at the labyrinth. Please be advised that electrical resident count is as follows. 3,071. The interior can be chilly. I would also ask that you leave your captain's ID with me. In the event that you do, I can make the assurance that I will not leave with another captain. Oh, speak of the devil. Captain, I am...
Attention, unauthorized spacecraft. This is a you are hereby confined to your docking platform. I wager it'll take a bit longer than it takes you to be honest. That'd make my job a lot easier. You come out, we shoot you full of holes, and then everyone goes about protocol. The starter... What?
Transmission. How can I be of... Take care. I am pleased to inform... Please be advised that electrical storms on the... Oh, speak of the... I request... am pleased to inform. Please be advised that I can.
You are hereby confined to your dock. I wager it'll take. To be honest, that'd make my job a lot easier. You come out, we shoot you full of holes, and then everyone goes. All right. I'm feeling generous. I'm transmitting the. Anyway, Tartarus Docking Authority signing up. Wait, is that from the Groundbreaker? What?
Transmission terminated. Biometric ID received. How can I be of assistance? Goodbye.
Did right by us once.
What?
Now it's ours.
What was that?
The board will never own Groundbreaker. Not while I breathe. Push on, my guy. Here goes nothing.
Your life was merely an illusion anyway.
Reminder, more uniform maintenance will result in a citation. Unexpired. Error. Employee information not found. Error. This unit is not experiencing errors. Error. This unit...
Bars with a storm like that guarding the gates.
Entering the labyrinth's the easy part. Making it back out. I'm still trusting your plan on that one, Captain. I suppose it would be too late to back out now, huh? Fear not, Captain. I'll watch your back.
Error. Employee information. Error. This... Error. System security warning. Error. Employee. Error.
Get in there, troops. For Monarch. For Halcyon.
Operator, I saw that. Not so.
Get in there, troops. For Monarch. For Halcyon.
You new here? I didn't think we were hiring more staff. Oh, much.
Well, look who it is. I'll be damned. I had heard you'd taken a mechanic under your wing.
The captain's treated me right. Better than any of you bored folk ever have.
And the convicts. The vicar. You know, most...
Oh, I would go anywhere to see.
When you go off and get yourself shot, try to avoid taking one to the face. I'll want it recognizable to show to my citizen. My word! It's a wonder what Phineas saw in you. Then again, he's an insane... Yes, he is an extraordinarily obstinate... But that's between us. As far as my adoring citizens will know, we've turned a dangerous crackpot into a working-class man. Oh yes, go on, wake them up, add more mouths to feed. I don't know what half-baked plans that simpleton in a lab coat has been leading you. Let me ask you something, Captain. Have you at any point...
I believe we could ask you the same.
I'm making actual progress towards stabilization and recovery. You're just getting in the way. If I and my people can ride it out in luxury, I'll admit there's no shortage of... Look, I'm not an unreasonable man. If you I can't exactly afford more havoc than you've already caused. Fine. If you survive.
Pathetic. You're not worth the paper.
Fugitive's a fugitive. Let it go.
Wait to cover the ammo. Everything in my life has been leading up to this point. I believe I am ready for this.
What comes with it? Who you are.
Captain, you have an uncanny talent for You've been working with Dr. Wells from the beginning. When we moved, you've disrupted the balance of power. You've upset the natural order of things. You've introduced I'm afraid I'm aware of your diplomatic talents, Captain. For all your talents, you are the enemy of Halcyon, and therefore you are... You make a new... Dr. Wells is being held in my custody. All that's left to do is put down this riot. Fair enough. I'm giving you exactly one chance to parley with me. Interesting that you think I'm going to die here. I believe I'm more than capable of taking you on. Did you really think I would make... I've devoted my entire life to protecting Halcyon. I'm not afraid to die in the line of duty. There isn't much of a board left, thanks to you. You were always an unknown variable. I tried to recruit you, but you threw your... This prison is equipped with an automechanical warden. And don't worry, I will inform Dr.
I'll fix you right up! job.
Get me out of here!
You made it. I can hardly believe my eyes. You didn't have to do this, you know. Risk your... I'm all right. Akande wanted my cooperation. You've left the board in tatters, but you and I are going to have to work harder than ever to save Halcyon. I'm afraid this... I wish I could be... Earth has gone dark. We haven't received a single message. 2 years ago, the Earth's Directorate's frigate disappeared.
Earth is only an idea to us. But that idea is the bedrock.
I don't want to imagine what'll happen once.
You mean...
I'm afraid so, Miss Holcomb. Halcyon is the... Earth isn't going to help us. No one's going to help us now. Yes, sir. I don't know what happened, but something must have gone horribly wrong. We have no connect... I heard it from Akande herself. She tried to She was half right. You might have heard of the Earth Directorate's... That was 2 years ago. Yes, Akande mentioned... Akande had kept the truth to herself. I wasn't trying to hide the truth from you. Yes, I experimented on the Hope's colonists. You are my first and only. I'm not asking you to forgive me. My apologies. If you have any... I had hoped your fellow colonists might hold the key to save. I'll do what I can. It's time I return to my lab. I'll try to save as many of the Hope's colonists as I can. You're under no obligation to help me. You've done enough already. Thank you. I know I've asked too much of you already. We were going to save this colony, you know. That's what I told myself. Now, I don't know what to think. I always suspected Halcyon.
The OSI teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment he landed in Emerald Vale, his actions altered the course of history. The events on Tartarus brought about the end of the board's authority. But the board's mistakes would haunt the colony for decades to come. The damage they left behind would require the work of a generation to repair. Dr. Phineas Wells began reviving a handful of the Hope's colonists. Engineers, scientists, technicians, and intellectuals. They were among the brightest minds the Earth had ever sent out into the stars. The Hope scientists and engineers woke up in a colony descending headlong into total collapse. With no way to return to Earth, they had no choice but to band together and devote themselves to the cause of saving Halcyon. The people of Halcyon were nothing if not hardy. In the absence of the board's authority, many of the colony's settlements banded together with a single purpose in mind: survival. Life was especially hard in the years to come. Some towns dissolved by attrition and starvation, but most of them found a way to carry on. In the years to come, Halcyon was forced to reckon with its newfound freedom. The board was gone, and for better or worse, the colony was responsible for its own destiny. As the colony struggled to survive, the inspirational story of the iconoclasts spread like wildfire, and Graham was able to bring many of the smaller Terra 2 townships into the fold. However, his zealous obsession with spreading the word blinded him to the needs of a growing organization, and the movement was unsustainable at scale. The iconoclast way seemed to work best, and ultimately petered out on Monarch. Consumed by paranoia, Lilia Hagen took Sublight Salvage in a controversial direction, openly accusing board officials of an extraterrestrial conspiracy. One day, an accident at the Groundbreaker's docking bay silenced her forever. Time would tell if her replacement could keep the Sublight family together. The collapse of Edgewater left its workers bereft of any purpose in life. Most of them made their way to Adelaide McDevitt's camp, hoping to ingratiate themselves into her favor. Adelaide accepted only a few to her community. The rest were turned away and likely died of starvation. Nevertheless, Adelaide's camp grew into a well-established town. Adelaide McDevitt refused to cooperate with the ongoing effort to save Halcyon from collapse. A sympathetic deserter stole a copy of her research and delivered it to the Hope's scientists. It is unclear how useful Adelaide's research was. An optimistic estimate suggests her work may have bought Halcyon another few years of survival. Adelaide would never know. She died that winter. Under the leadership of Junlei Tennyson, the groundbreaker held firm against corporate influence. The ship's mechanical stability gave Junlei the time to educate a promising generation of engineers, schooled in her family's traditions. The future of the groundbreaker looks promising. The rediscovery of the Hope and the abandonment of the lifetime employment program forced Byzantium to come to terms with some uncomfortable realities about the state of Halcyon. While Byzantines were reluctant to surrender the luxuries they'd grown accustomed to, the board's diminished authority gave them little choice in the matter. Nearly everyone had to learn to make do with less. Some even had to get jobs. It was a dark time indeed. Ellie savored her adventures on the Unreliable. Once they were done, she returned to life as usual, running missions of dubious legality, shunning respectable work, and living life to the fullest. She meant to reach out to her one-time captain, but she was always bad at keeping in touch. Life in Halcyon was sobering for Felix Millstone. The grand revolution he dreamed of never came. There was no great awakening for the colony, no celebrations in the streets. There was only the hard, desperate work of trying to repair a broken colony. Felix never had a head for numbers, but if there was labor to be done, he was there to help. Eventually, Felix realized that the work of a revolution was done with two hands. As much as he enjoyed his adventures aboard the Unreliable, the vicar, known as Max, eventually decided that it was time to move on, to live out the life he had sought so long to create. He knew there were many in the colony who carried burdens much worse than the ones he had struggled with, and he devoted himself to easing their suffering wherever he could. He only ever took up arms again to defend the defenseless. Unshackled from a lifetime of striving and fighting the universe and himself, Vicar Maximilian de Soto was finally at peace. Once the matter with the Hope colonists was resolved, Junlei bashfully asked Parvati if she'd like to join her permanently on the Groundbreaker, and Parvati enthusiastically, if somewhat awkwardly, agreed. The stories of her adventures spread across the colony, and Parvati soon found herself the center of attention. Having served as the engineer of a renowned spacecraft, tramp freighters and wildcat miners sought her out by name, and in no time, she was a fixture in the Groundbreaker's mechanical ecosystem. She and Junlei were never far apart. Nyoka returned to Monarch to take another crack at making a permanent life for herself. She formed the Charon Group, a mercenary outfit of ragtag survivalists and wilderness experts. Anyone in need of a guide, or just looking to throw back a beer and swap stories, could find her camping on the trail or clearing an infestation. The SAM unit that accompanied you spread awareness of the product line's superior sanitation and maintenance capabilities across what was left of the colony. This led to a boost in SAM unit sales. Did you know that SAM units are the longest-lasting, toughest-acting cleaning solution in Halcyon? Minister Clark was released from house arrest, and his contact with you gave him a sense of renewed purpose and vigor. Once it became clear that no help would be coming from Earth, he threw his considerable efforts and talents into helping Halcyon manage the crisis before it. Chairman Rockwell served as the public face for the changes in Halcyon to come. Whenever you needed strings pulled or a voice to sell a policy change, Rockwell was only too happy to oblige. As for Dr. Phineas Wells, he spent his remaining years in his orbital lab. He was never able to come to terms with his own past, troubled by the decision of placing all his faith in the first colonist he ever revived, the infamous Captain of the Unreliable. The revival project yielded mixed results. Phineas, weighed down by limited support and his own guilt, struggled to revive more than a handful of scientists and engineers. They made a heroic effort to solve the colony's problems, but with small numbers and facing long odds, their solutions never caught on. Only a few of the Hope's colonists were successfully revived. Wells died before he could see the fruits of his labor. He passed away a haunted man, crushed by the guilt of his failures. Small, petty factions squabble over what remains of the colony. Every attempt to reach out to Halcyon's neighbors is met with silence. And what about you, the unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon? Long after Wells passed away, you carried on his work with more energy, determination, and brilliance than he could ever muster. The years that followed were hard, but Halcyon survived by the efforts of the Hope's most promising colonists, the greatest of which was you. No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.